If you do not imagine or think about what you want to be, it's not going to happen. This is very important because the status quo people, they're not thinking necessarily about a kind and just global society or a world full of peace and harmony. They're dealing with how to keep the status quo going. There's no Department of Peace in the governments. There's no department of visioning for the next stage of peace and love. It's always for how we're going to handle the next pandemic, how we're going to handle the next war, which is why we produce it over and over again, because we're always preparing for it. You get what you prepare for. Are you preparing for peace? Are you preparing for love? Are you preparing for joy? Are you preparing for harmony? Are you preparing for prosperity? Or are you preparing for your worst case scenario? If you're preparing for your worst case scenario, guess what? You're helping to create it. So if you want to, if you're asking what does the future hold, we know God holds the future. But the future is created and co-created by those who have vision. So, first I said, pull out from the world of appearances. Secondly, I'm saying you have to begin to articulate the world you want to live in and the person you want to be. Only an enlightened person, enlightened people can have an enlightened society. It cannot be, it won't be infused by rules and laws. We love rules and laws because they keep us from just going nuts, okay? But ultimately, it has to be sustained by enlightened individuals. That would be you. You can't depend on anybody else but you, your family, friends and associates, and those growth-centered beings that you're hanging out with. So you have to begin to describe. Why don't you write down on a piece of paper? I see my life infused with such beauty and joy. I see my life infused with such abundance and prosperity, such creativity. I'm a fountain of compassion. I'm a fountain of love. I'm a fountain of generosity and creativity. I see my life, I see myself as a flowing fountain of such good. I'm a beneficial presence of the Most High. Begin to describe your life. And then take an opportunity to describe the world you want to live in. Describe the healthcare system. A healthcare system that meets the poor and the rich exactly the same. A legal system that deals with brown people and black people getting the same amount of justice that rich white people. You know, describe the world you want to live in. Don't just fight the world you don't want to live in, but begin to embrace and describe and walk in the direction of the world you want to live in. This is pure metaphysics, baby. This is pure metaphysics, meta, beyond the physical appearance, beyond what you can see and smell and taste and touch and hear. You have to begin to live in this dynamic. Empowerment to progress. Now here's the secret. The secret is the reality that we see is malleable and flexible. You already know that everything is energy, and energy is always constantly oscillating and moving. It just coagulates, and as it coagulates, it becomes a fact that everyone agrees upon that fact, and then we live as a factual-based being. Now, you have to go from fact to mythical to mystical. If you go from fact to mythical and mystical, your consciousness expands. But if you move from mystical to fact, and you live a fact-based life, waste of a human incarnation. Waste. But if you go from fact to mystical, you'll infuse the world with your awareness, and the facts will change based on all of our collective agreement.